Hi, I'm Sarah Lund, and today I'm interviewing June Hallenbeck, and I'm so glad that you're here to be interviewed for this
thank
project.
you. Okay.
Thanks so much for being here. Can you tell me a little bit about some of your first memories of First Congregational Church?
Well, of course, we joined in 1978 at the end of and I think it was December. We moved here in February of that year, and with our daughter,
Yeah.
who loved this church. So we went to several different churches, and Jerry Jordan was the minister at the time. So we
Right.
joined at that time.
Yeah.
And we were good friends with them too, and
Were you?
a lot
Okay.
of things going on then. But one thing I thought maybe I should talk about that other people wouldn't know is about the handbells.
Oh, great.
So when we first moved here in '78, I had been a handbell player for years in Fort Wayne, where we came from, but there was no handbells here in our church. So I played handbells in First Pres, but I came to this church. We were members here,
Yeah.
but I did the handbells here until maybe 5 years after somewhere around 4 or 5 years after we were here. The Johnsons, Marilyn and her husband, brought us two octaves of handbells.
Oh,
So then we started our handbell choir here, and one of the first years I directed for 1 year, not the first year, but somewhere. I don't remember where Carol Fields was the director then. She was for many years after that. But anyway, one of the interesting thing is Patti White came. Before she met Jim, she hadn't met Jim, and she hadn't been to our church, but she joined our handbell choir.
right.
So that was the first time she got involved with the church. I'm quite sure, if I remember
Right.
correctly. And then, of course, she met Jim, and they got married in the church. So that was always interesting. So
Right. Oh,
anyway, that's where the handbell started out.
that's so great.
So-
You were part of it,
Yes.
the inception.
I still like to play handbells, but I really don't play in the regular choir anymore. For one thing, it meets every week on Tuesday evenings, and it's a long drive for me. So,
That
but I
makes
still
sense,
enjoy
yeah.
it.
Right. Well, maybe occasional.
Right.
As needed.
Anyway, that's one thing I thought maybe nobody else really remembers how
Right.
handbells got started in our church.
Well, that's really neat. I've never heard of the beginning of our handbell choir.
Right.
So. And do we still use those handbells here?
Same handbells. We've got expanded it. There's more than the two original octaves, which
Right.
is the basic set.
Okay.
But we eventually bought more handbells, one at a time sometimes, to go all the way down to the great big bells that we
Yeah.
have today.
Yeah, we have quite a range now.
Yes, we do.
That's so great. So when and why did you become a member of the church?
Well, we were in a congregational church in Fort Wayne for over 25 years before we moved here. So that was obviously one of the churches we were going to be looking at. And we enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, we joined it. So what
Yeah.
else can I say? Our daughter really liked this church, and she was a really good friend of Suzanne Jordan, Jerry and Gail's daughter.
Yeah.
Another thing, early on too, when before before Jim White came on board. In fact, actually, Patti didn't come until Jim White was there, so I don't remember how many years there were in between that. But we had a women's circle
Oh.
that we met at. I remember meeting at the Jordan's house many times, but I don't remember whether we met at other people's houses or the church. But it went on for a number of years, and then just kind of disappeared.
Right.
So we were doing things for the church. I don't remember what it was called, but it had a name. But it was,
Right.
I think, the only time there's been a women's circle here, or maybe at least since we've been here. Maybe
Right.
before that there was, but it was started after we got here. So
Oh, neat. Can you share a memory from your time spent with a group or committee or a team here?
a time spent with a committee or a team. Well, I was on a board at one time, but I doesn't have a big memory.
No.
We did go out to La Forêt as for the family camping at one point.
Yeah,
But-
what particular things do you remember about that time at La Forêt?
Well, I remember the beds were not very comfortable. I do remember that it was a bunk bed we had,
Yeah.
and Ken says, we're not going to do that again. So, and we haven't.
It was your one and only.
That was our one and only. So, right.
That's funny.
So,
So who do you remember as friends in church over the years?
oh my. Well, lots of people. I particularly remember the people in the handbell choir, I guess, like Carol Fields and, well, all of the people in the handbell choir, Marilyn Johnson and
Yeah.
the ministers. I don't know. I haven't gotten really involved in the last few years, except for being in handbells.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's,
Eleanor Law, of course, I know she was a good friend that was here,
yes,
who just left.
right. Okay. So,
And a number of people have died, unfortunately,
Mhm.
but so we're still hanging on.
yeah. Can you tell me, June, what do you value most about this church and this community?
Well, I enjoy this. Our family mostly have gone off to a much more conservative church, but I do like the fact that we embrace all of the different people here. So I do enjoy that, especially since we now have, well, I guess a grandson. It's a trans. It was a granddaughter, but now so we do have that trans in our family. So I think we tolerate him a lot better than most people would. In fact, our daughter is married to a E-free preacher, which is very to the right wing. But anyway, and they accept him. They know, this is. They don't like it, but
Right.
but maybe. Anyway, I think that's been good as far as I'm concerned
Yeah.
for this church. I'm glad that they embrace everybody.
Of course, yeah. Again, with memories, what is a favorite memory that you have of First Congregational Church during your time here?
Well, what do I say except, I don't know, handbells or, I mean, we enjoy the meetings. Oh, I like the Madrigals. I've always enjoyed the Madrigal dinners. And we've
Yes.
come to them many, many years. We've been coming to Madrigal dinners. So do enjoy those
Yeah.
every other year. So
Right. Were you at the most recent?
yes, I was.
Yeah. That some of the small changes, but
They've gotten more elaborate, and originally they didn't have all as many fancy costumes and everything as they have now in the very, very beginning.
yeah.
But it's been going on for a long time. I don't even know how long now, but
Yeah. Quite.
that was a new thing they started at one point, so we do enjoy that.
Yeah, lots of joy and merriment.
Right.
What advice do you have to give the congregation as we go forward for the next 150 years?
I'd say keep going. You're doing a good job. Really happy with the situation of the church now, so I just hope it continues. So
Okay.
I don't actually get to church very often anymore, the live service, but listen to the ones online almost every Sunday.
Yeah.
So especially since it's at 9 o'clock. When it was at 11, I could get here better
Okay.
during the regular part of the year. And we did come to some of those where we're outside in the
Yes.
street during
Oh,
COVID,
right.
where the wind
Yeah.
was blowing. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, I was there too. It was hold on to your hat and your jacket.
Right.
Yeah. Any other specific memories as you're reflecting on your time at FCC?
Well, then those are the ones, I've told you the ones that have really come to my mind, because I was thinking about it before, and particularly about the handbells, I wanted to let people know how that went.
Right.
So
You were here for the beginning. of
I
that.
was here for the beginning and before the beginning. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Any excuse me. Any major changes or shifts that you've seen over the years? In
Well,
our
of course, the
city?
ministers, of course, from Jerry to Jim to Ben Broadbent, he was really a favorite of everybody's. And then it kind of fell apart, but now we're back together, I think. So, right.
Yeah.
Glad to see that.
Yeah, lots of change.
A lot of people left the church.
We did.
So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
anyway.
Thank you. Guess any last thoughts or any parting, I don't know, any advice?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think that's about all I have to say. So,
No, it's lots of good things and memories. So thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
being here and sharing with us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.